Good afternoon. We will now call the Beaufort County Board of Education agenda setting meeting of May 11, 2020 to order. We need a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, aye.
Okay, thank you. We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, the approval of agenda carries unanimously. I pledge of allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for
for
which it stands,
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The media has been properly notified. Do we have a motion to approve the April 23, 2020 committee meeting minutes?
I move that we approve the April 23rd committee meeting minutes.
And do we have a second?
Yes, I second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
You said I will.
Oh yeah, I said aye. Yes, I said aye. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. All right. The motion carries unanimously to approve the April 23rd, 2020 committee meeting minutes. Now we're going on to the setting the May 12th special called board meeting agenda. Let me open that for a minute. That's in board docs. Okay, we have a draft agenda for tomorrow at 4 p.m. remote video conferencing. Let's see, Kathy and William, do you have that in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any, there's hardly anything on the agenda.
Yeah, I think those were,
questions or suggestions or?
I think those were the reasons that we were having a special called meeting. So I think those are the topics.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have a public comment section at the beginning of the meeting. We often don't have them with the special called board meetings, but there's been a lot of chatter, obviously, in the
Yes, I think we
the
should have
community.
one.
So I think
Yeah.
it's appropriate to have it here.
Do you want it handled, we're going to keep it at 30 minutes?
Yeah, the way you've, mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're doing it in the same manner that we've been doing it for the video conferencing public comments.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
John's hands were raised.
Okay, Mr. Dowling.
Yes,
We can't
Ben
hear
muted.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't see. Are we going to put up what's on board docs on the screen? I'm getting the agenda for today, but I'm not seeing the,
Oh, sorry.
You have to go. You can go
Sorry,
with
I
the
can
board.
put it up.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Robin.
Mhm,
Molly.
got it.
So do we want to have a motion to approve the agenda for tomorrow?
I move we approve the agenda for the special called meeting on May 12th.
Well, and we will be discussing graduation at that
We had
time.
a number of board members request that there be a discussion of support of this, of the superintendent graduation plan.
Okay, well, I will, so I will second, I will second to go on the agenda.
Okay. Do we have any discussion?
Just as I said, I think that under the coherence governance, I think that it has been brought to our attention that it is the superintendent's purview. So, and he's been responding, so I don't really see a need to further discuss it, but that's fine.
Mr. Dowling?
I think there is a need to discuss it in several contexts. I was the only person present at the December 3rd meeting to vote against adopting coherent governance, and I am still willing to state my utmost support that it was Dr. Rodriguez's decision, and that it's nice if we support it, but supporting it implies that we had an option to not support it. We don't.
Well, you know what, John, you're getting into philosophy here, so
Yeah.
that would be something you can bring out tomorrow if you would.
Well, let me get to my question then. I'm sorry that I tried to get somebody to think. The question is, are you going to come in with a draft, or are we going to discuss the statement before the statement is drafted?
Whatever seems to be the will of the board, I guess.
Well, and it's not the will of the board, it's will of the officers right now. You people are the only ones voting.
So John, what's your question?
Yeah,
The
so
motion,
My question is, are we going to discuss a draft that has already been drafted tomorrow night? Or are we going to have a discussion and then have a statement drafted?
the motion says that discussion of statement and support of superintendent for graduation plans. So if we're going to discuss it, then it may need to be something in there about discussion is,
discussion's the first
it's
word.
actually discussion is in there. It's the first word, right? So I believe you're talking about it. I believe everything is covered within that motion to discuss it.
I mean, anybody can come with a motion, John, so I don't,
I
do
mean,
the officers have a motion drafted? I don't.
No.
Well, I'm
No.
thinking
Is that what
back,
you're asking?
I'm thinking back to when you came in with a statement, with a proposed statement on the resolution. And that was the main focus. I believe that our discussion should determine what's in the statement, not necessarily what one person, chair or not, comes in with a draft of. So I was just curious, that's all. Just
Okay.
asking the question.
So my answer, I think I've already answered it. I mean, I think anybody could come in with a draft. All right, so any further discussion on this approval of the agenda for tomorrow's meeting?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Now, Robin, can you bring up onto the screen the May 19th?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. So I've looked at this draft earlier today, and I see something that already needs to be corrected, Robin, is the executive session time is incorrect
Oh.
at 6 p.m.
Needs to be, we're going to start at 5 o'clock or,
Well, I'm not, personally familiar with the items here, so I think maybe Dr. Rodriguez would have to give a comment about the expected time interval.
He has to be unmuted.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yes.
Okay.
So did you hear the question, Dr. R?
I'm not sure. I thought it was regarding the start time for executive session.
Correct. So right now, it says 6, but that's a typo.
right, it's just it's a placeholder.
Right.
Yep.
So do you think
Um,
5 is reasonable?
I think it is, but it always depends on the number of questions we get. But I think
Right.
5 is reasonable.
All righty. And obviously, I see the first item needs further clarification.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, now ready to go to the public session. So we've got the first public comments, and Robin, can you scroll back up to the beginning of this so we can see what's there again for the public comments? Thank you. Okay, those look good.
And
Anybody?
our statement up there about the second public comments is not correct.
Yes.
The second public comments will take place at 9
At 9
p.m.
p.m. exactly.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
9
thank
p.m.
you.
Okay. I'll change that.
Thank you.
I think Robin, I think it was the second public comments will take place, take out the word only, will take place prior to adjournment and no later than 9 p.m. I think that was the wording.
Okay,
Because if, let's say miraculously, we ended at 8:30.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. So if you could fix that wording. And then can you scroll down again, please? All right. So we have meeting minutes from May 5th. We also probably will have meeting minutes here from the special called meeting.
Yes,
Do you want to add those? Of tomorrow, May 12th?
Yeah.
And then we have the 5 committee reports.
and whatever comes out of the committees will be added to this agenda.
Okay, I think it would be helpful to have revised committee scope in front of academics, finance and operations.
Okay,
Because those had prior scopes, whereas the Bluffton Growth Committee did not.
Also, under committee, updates. Possibly, I guess we could put Buford Jasper, Ace. So Mr. Campbell can give us an update because didn't they just have a meeting as well?
You
Yes,
did,
they
right,
did.
Earl? Yeah.
So I think under committee meetings, I think that would be a perfect place to put.
I agree.
Okay. Move on.
Do you guys see anything else there to add? Yep,
No.
so now we're into the superintendent's report.
Yep, so we want to talk a little bit about summer programming for this summer. We want to talk
Yeah.
a little bit about, just as an FYI with the board, on the Department of Defense grant that we're working on with USCB. There's the monthly transparency report, monthly 100K report, and budget update conversation. And then down at the bottom, have a construction update.
So,
Or referendum update, I should say, actually.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Robin, can you, so that needs to be corrected under other matters, referendum instead of construction?
Yeah.
And if you go up to goal 1, programming is misspelled. Needs 2 M's.
Okay.
So will you, Dr. Rodriguez, will there be is there a need for another COVID-19 update or not at this time?
We could, if the board would like, at this juncture. I think the last 2 meetings I've given a COVID-19 update, and we haven't had a referendum update. So I thought I'd do the referendum update this time. I could do both if that's the preference.
Kathy?
I have a preference for both. I
Okay.
would like, it doesn't, the COVID one doesn't have to be lengthy, but what I'm interested in is, the work that our students are doing, how many, if we have any kind of figures in terms of the ones that we've been able to, how we've gotten more students, connected with more students, or what it looks like in terms of our
Okay.
connection with students.
Okay. Okay, very well.
Okay, I agree. I think it needs to be on there. Plus, this is the last meeting before school gets out.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we have the second public comments. So now what I would suggest we do before we finish is go look at the list that that's in board docs, or Robin can put it up here again for
Yeah.
some of the agenda items.
What
Yeah,
if-
here we go.
The Port Royal TIF.
Yeah, I already, yeah, okay.
Okay, that was one. I know Robin was reaching out to Port Royal, so maybe she has some information.
I don't. I reached out through Tanya, and Tanya reached out to them, and they said that they're not ready to come before the board in the midst of the COVID virus. So they're not ready to make a report to us yet.
Okay,
I think that do the agenda not look like it's kind of slam already?
Say that again?
I said I think that the agenda already looks like it's kind of packed already.
Oh,
Yeah, I think,
We were just going over the list of, a lot of these were added actually, or some of these, I should say, were added at the last meeting when we had future agenda topics. But some of these are I guess you'd say leftover, still in the queue or whatever. But if we can, you want to go down these individually? Or do you want to just look at it and tell me what you?
well, it seems like the summer school plans,
Yeah,
that's on the
Exactly.
agenda for this time, correct? The
Right,
summer
correct.
learning?
Summer
Right.
programming, yep.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if we want to look at these and prioritize things, or if these are just this looks like all of these things are important, and like budget update, that's going to be on this one. But some of these other topics, you know, may fill in on our next agenda.
well, how about, all right, so we know that the TIF, they're not ready yet, correct? Is
Right.
that, okay.
correct.
Okay.
So how about, we don't know about update on TCL. Can Dr. Rodriguez find that out? Because that would probably be something that would be quite quick to go through. But do you know, Dr. Rodriguez?
I know they've been working with them. They had a good session last week in working with them. I think they have another one tomorrow, but in terms of putting it on the agenda right now, I don't know if they're ready to they're going to be able to turn it around before Thursday for you.
Okay.
Mr. Downing has his hands up.
John?
I've lost my video, but I have nothing to say.
Okay, I asked you, actually, I chatted with you to ask you to put your hand down, but you must not have seen it. So that's okay.
That's
Yeah, your
that's
hand is
correct.
still
I have
up.
no video.
Oh,
Okay. We
John, I
can
can
still
see
see you,
you.
by the way. We see you.
Oh, what a sight. Huh?
If you look at the bottom of your screen, John, there's
Huh?
a video camera. If you tap that, you should have your video.
No, I've got a Zoom, a screen that says Zoom on it, and that's all. I'm in the
Hmm.
post attendee.
Oh, the screen
Oh, you
says
can
Zoom.
rejoin.
Hmm.
You probably have to just start all over and go in again.
Well, it looks like the meeting's almost over, is it not?
Yeah, well, it's close
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
We can see you though, so that's weird that you can't see us. Oh, well.
So Dr. Rodriguez, we have a couple things related to the internet and technology and K2 devices. Do you think those could be discussed? I mean, those may take some preparation. Could those be just?
Can you scroll it upward so I can see more of
Yeah,
it?
you can't see them all. So, okay, stop there.
Oh, yes, actually, that question around the work on broadband district-wide while Dr. Moss was here, I think we can certainly give some information on that. I think that's kind of a short discussion.
Great.
Okay. So that could go under your superintendent's report?
Sure, and that's a kind of a short discussion. I won't get into it, but just in terms of what ended up transpiring. So.
Okay.
So
And-
that's going to be on this agenda?
Yes.
He's gonna, sorry.
Yes, and he said it would be under the superintendent's report.
Okay. Do you
So I
want me-
guess we have, the one last thing would be the start time surveys. When are we going to address those?
David's hands up.
Okay, David, go ahead.
I was just going to ask about the technology plan, covert virus impact.
That's supposed to be COVID, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. COVID.
I went right to Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the start time surveys, I just think we should say something. We did them and then they're just kind of hanging out there.
Do you want to, is that something you would want to put under your operations report, or?
I mean, I can, but I mean, the surveys are done. So now what are we going to do?
All right,
I just think we need to, because as you know, the Whale Branch cluster had a different opinion than the rest of the county. I think
Right.
we owe it to them to tell them if we can't do anything for this coming year, then I think we need to say something. But I think that's a full board thing.
all right.
You know, can we do something? Are we going to do something, or did we lose so much time we can't? And, you know, Earl can certainly pitch in if I'm misreading the Whale Branch, but it seemed like they deserve an answer because they were the outliers, so to speak.
So, is Earl still there?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's muted though.
Can someone unmute him, please?
She's what?
Go ahead. David, ask your question again.
Oh, Earl, I was just pointing out that in the start time surveys,
Right,
you know, your area was different than the rest of the county.
right.
And it seems like we need to get back to folks and say something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
would your recommendation be have it be a board discussion under the committee reports? They could report it out again and then we decide? Or do you want to have it under board business? Where do you think it would be best?
I think it's just going to be a discussion.
Discussion, that's all.
Okay. Kathy or Will?
Well, my thing,
I see you, John. Just hold on.
it's
Okay,
definitely a discussion that needs to take place, but I think that there are so many questions about how we go back to school in the fall
Mhm.
that, you know, that I don't know if we're jumping the gun and discussing it, or maybe we say we will, as soon as we have a little bit more clarity
Mhm.
about how we're re-entering school in the fall, we will address that issue.
Perfect.
How about you, Will?
I definitely, I was thinking along the same lines as Kathy. I think there's so much discussions about going back to school. I guess we can just discuss it, but there's a lot of underlying questions right now that are going through my mind on this issue. So, I think that I'm Kathy. I don't want to kind of jump the gun on it, but I mean, as a full board, I think we can still have a discussion on it. But you know, our discussion will be kind of tailored to what we can do due to what's going on right now in the world.
Mr. Dowling?
I have a suggestion for a discussion item. I would like to see, and I'm not sure where in the agenda it would go. I don't much care. But I would like to see the board and the administration address the county auditor's email that he sent out this weekend regarding continuing resolutions.
Dr. Rodriguez?
So two points. I think Kathy's comment is wise in terms of how things open up next year. So I think it'd be prudent to have as much of that information as possible for that discussion. And then with respect to what John just said, Mr. Dowling just said, that seems to me like something that maybe could be covered in the superintendent's report under budget update. What do you think, Mr. Dowling?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just where I would expect it
Yeah.
also. Yeah. Robin, can you scroll down some more on what's on the screen? Is there anything on that second page? No.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
never mind. Okay.
Can we, at this point, can we see what all we've added to the agenda, because we don't want to overpack the agenda. And I think that agenda, that all the points that we have right now might take us to another late meeting, and I want to make sure that we don't overpack the agenda.
Okay.
The only thing you've added to the agenda was under the superintendent's report. You've added a COVID-19 update under the superintendent's report and the discussion of broadband throughout the district.
and also as well as the,
budget question from,
Yeah. Mr. Becker.
yeah,
That was already on the, I mean, that's under
Yeah,
budget.
exactly.
that's what
That's
I,
already on
yeah,
the
that's already-
agenda.
yeah.
okay, also, okay, on the construction update, okay. But also, in committee report, we also put ACE on the update as well. On the committee report, we put ACE, an
Right.
update on ACE.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else do we add?
I think that's it.
I think
John,
that
were
was
you
it
raising your hand again?
Yeah, please.
Go ahead.
Is Wendy Cartledge present?
Yes.
Yes.
Could we be a little more specific on the committee reports? It says that votes may be taken on recommendations.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that satisfies prior notice.
Yeah, can you unmute me?
You are.
You
you're
are.
unmuted.
Am I
You are.
unmuted? Okay.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Dowling, I appreciate that. And I was thinking about this with respect to the operations committee about giving notice to the public. One of the items that will be on the agenda is the PE number 10, safety and security. So there would be, if the committee approves it, then the committee would ask the full board to approve it. So we could add that language there. We usually don't have the item specified until after the committees meet. So what suggestions what are you thinking how we should handle it better? Do you have any suggestions?
Well, I would say that if the item is known prior to the draft being approved at this type of meeting, it should
Yeah.
be on there. If
So we'll
not,
know
it
after our meeting,
yeah,
after our,
it
yeah.
certainly should be on there for the final agenda.
Yeah, and we'll do that after operations.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If the committees are meeting, say, for instance, finance is meeting on Thursday, how, and until after the vote is taken, so we'll have information by Monday for the final approval. But they won't be out before the approval on Thursday evening.
Are you
So I thought the
talking-
committees were only meeting to decide on their
Scopes.
scope. So I don't think that's going to be an item.
Yep.
Finance has a quarterly report that came in, so that will, I think that was an agenda item. I think David sent something, but I didn't read it yet. So we have a couple of more agenda items that are coming through.
Okay, okay, David, go ahead.
Yeah, what I sent was, I forgot to put discussion of scope on our agenda. So it has to be on there. And it seems to me that we may vote to approve these scopes, so.
Yeah.
Right.
You could say discussion and possible approval of revised committee scope. That's what I think it should be for the standing committees there. Right?
Okay.
Because that's, a little more detailed.
And
Wendy-
Dr. Gwadz, the PE on safety and security, that is due at this meeting, and so that will be on the agenda for operations committee.
So that needs to be listed then.
Yes, ma'am. Please. Thank you.
I see John waving his hand.
Mr. Dowling?
Robin mentioned voting regarding the finance committee meeting Thursday. All that's being voted on today is whether to approve the draft. And as we all know, there are multiple changes. There's a history of changes being made to the draft before final publication and posting. So I'm just confused about why there's a concern about voting.
There
today.
isn't. There isn't.
Okay.
And one last, Mr. Strivenger. So can we put under your operations committee, will you just make, I guess, an announcement about the time, the start time survey that, at this,
Sure,
you can
sure.
sort of ask the board, is this, get the approval from the board or whatever that, because here in our committee meeting today, the officers feel that it's a little premature to be, working on the start time changes when we really don't know what the start of school is going to be.
And I agree. I just want
Yeah.
us to say something.
Yeah.
Right.
Let people know we haven't forgotten about it.
So Robin, can you put that under operations?
Sure.
Okay. All right,
And also, one quick question.
yes, sir.
Excuse me, on this, we want to move on to the agenda, but for tomorrow's emergency meeting, do we have any documents for that meeting?
I sent the email around with county council's proposal, so you'd have that already.
Okay.
That
But
would be
Robin
it.
can load that into board docs as well.
I will.
Okay. To go back to what we're talking about here, the agenda for May 19th, it seems like we've completed the items we had. So can you scroll down a little bit more? Thank you. All right. Do any further discussion from Kathy or William regarding this, or we're good with the proposed draft agenda for May 19th?
I would have, go ahead, Kathy.
So under board business action, does this refer to what Dr. Stratos is going to be talking to us about?
Yes. You're talking about the Magnet School Assistance Program
Yes.
grant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
William?
And also, are there any well, I guess that we will need to go some of that's we will need to go in early and read these documents for executive session,
Yeah, like we've been doing.
right?
So that would be likely Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
As soon as I get the documents, I'd let you know that I have them, and then we can set up the times.
Well, I was going to say that I think that these documents should be in no later than Friday at 12 o'clock. To give us fair for the people who wants to possibly go over and look at it, and maybe want to even a second look at it on Monday. I think that we should start putting a time frame around when these documents in, and when what we have is what we have, and that's what we meet on.
So can you scroll back there, Robin, to that section, please? Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, if Robin needs the documents to load them, and
I
Do
need
you
the
have any of
documents
the
to have them
documents?
to copy them, and then I would need board members to contact me and tell me the times that they would be available to come, which is usually Mondays and Tuesdays.
You know, if we were having an in-person meeting, we wouldn't be seeing these documents until the day of the meeting. So
Right, and I think that we should be getting we should be getting to a point to when these documents are in at a certain period of time. As a board, I think that that deemed appropriate for us to start getting into the habit of it.
yeah, well, we're limited, you know, because they're executive session documents anyway, so. I agree. Dr. Rodriguez, how soon do you think those documents will be ready?
And how about the monthly reports and also merit reports? Will those be available as well?
Those are always in board docs by that Thursday evening.
Yeah.
And those reports are normally the first meeting of the month. The personnel ratification report, and the adult home ed report. Is that what you're asking, William?
No, well, I'll let William speak
Yeah,
for
William, go
himself.
ahead.
No,
But I heard,
Question.
No, you were right, Kathy. What were you gonna say?
Well, I thought you were speaking to the reports that are under fiscal responsibility and Dr. Stratos defense, those types of things.
Yes,
That-
ma'am.
That
Yes,
are
ma'am.
are to be loaded into board docs by that
Right.
Thursday night.
Right.
I concur. So did you
Yeah,
hear
I
that?
think, I think that's fine. I think those executive session documents, can you go back to them? Yeah, thank you. I think that's fine. I think we can do that.
Meaning you can have them ready by, just for clarification.
Yeah.
So that Robin can make the copies and have the copies ready for Friday at noon. I think that was the request, right, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think, I don't see anything on there that's going to delay beyond that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the other documents will be ready by Thursday night to be loaded in board docs as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So if board members are coming, then we'll need to make sure that they schedule a time.
Yes,
ma'am.
Right.
as we have been doing.
So you can send out an email, Robin, when, to remind the members to schedule with you and what what intervals are available. All right. So any further discussion about this proposed draft agenda?
Yeah, I think we've got it.
Okay. So now we have to set the meeting time, right, for the next agenda?
For the next agenda setting. Mhm.
Yeah.
Our next meeting is scheduled for June 9th. It's the second Tuesday instead of the first, because that's our approved date. The previous Tuesday is scheduled for graduation. So do you want to meet on Monday, June 1st?
That's fine with me.
That works.
It's better for me, honestly, to be a little later in the day than at 1 o'clock. I know today was different.
Right. 4 o'clock, Monday, June 1st. Does that work for you, William?
4 o'clock, June 1st?
Yes.
It's a Monday.
I must be the wrong month. Oh, no wonder why. Okay. Yeah, wait, what was in July? Yeah, at this time it works for me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Rodriguez, does it work for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
All right.
Monday, June 1st at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
And most likely by Zoom, unless something drastic
Yeah.
happens. All right. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move, we adjourn.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
you.
Thank
Thank
everybody.
you.
Be safe.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
Mother's Day to everyone.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,